Hello, everyone. Let me welcome the replay viewers right now. This is Keli Chevalier, and this is a Q&A session. So let me flip this around. So hi, I'm Keli Chevalier, and I am the Retire by 40 strategist. And today I've been doing a little scope-a-thon on body language and how to use body language in your business so that you can ask for more money, so that you can also tell when someone is being dishonest with you. There's so many reasons why body language comes into play into business. But I've been scoping about it pretty much all day. So catch my replays and watch them after this. So what this scope is about, we're like, not quite sure what time it is right now, but we're like middle of the day. So just a sec. Sorry about that. So we're like middle of the day. So I wanted to do a Q&A scope right now since we're about halfway through the scope-a-thon today. I want to know what your questions are about body language in business. So I'll kind of recap what we've been talking about all day. We've been talking about how to read micro expressions. And there are 7 Paul Ekman micro expressions. You've got micro expressions are basically how your face reacts to certain things. Honestly, how it reacts. So for instance, happiness, true happiness. I'm going to take my glasses off so you can see. So when someone is truly happy to see you, they smile and the corners of their eyes will get wrinkles. So when you're happy, the corners of your mouth go up and the corners of your eyes actually create wrinkles. That's a real life, I'm happy to see you, a genuine smile. Another expression is one of sadness. So sadness would be, sort of the face is sort of droopy, the eyes are going down, the corners of the mouth are down. You may even see the lips stick out like that. So you've got happiness, sadness, contempt, which I said was one of the most important micro expressions to recognize, because contempt means that the person is not just disagreeing with something you said, but that they're really holding it against you personally, meaning they have a personal negative impression of you. This often leads, if this is noticed in the beginning of a relationship, it often means that there is not going to be a long-term relationship. It won't happen. That person has some deep-seated issues about you. That's what contempt means. But there's 7 of these micro expressions, and you can watch the replay to see them all. So right now, I just want to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions. And I'm really doing this scope-a-thon today as a bit of an experiment to find out what you guys want to hear and what you want to talk about, and how I can do and provide you with really good information on these scopes. Trying to find out what keeps you interested. So far it seems that people, thank you for the hearts, I appreciate that. So far it seems that I got the most views earlier this morning, so before people went to work this morning. It seems like it's definitely trailed off the later the day has gone. But then I also did something which was teach a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I needed to hear that. I've also been teaching a lot. So I don't know if teaching is what makes people not want to watch. Maybe it's more about just connecting with me and not seeing slides or something like that. I'm not sure. So that's why I'm doing the scope-a-thon all day today. And I'm going to go back and look at my statistics and see where there were peaks in followers, where there was peaks in hearts, where there was peaks in replay views and all that kind of stuff. I want to look at those statistics, and then later I can come back. I love body language and would love to learn more to recognize signs. Awesome. Pamela, if you love body language, ask me some questions. Ask me and I will be glad to answer, because that's why I really just want to give information, and I'm not sure the best way to give it to you. How do you want to receive the information? So, when I figure out the best way to give the information, I will let you guys know based on my statistics from today where it seems like you'll end up with the most viewers. I've been trying to catch everyone. The teaching is giving so much insight. Okay. Good. So yeah, I really want you guys to ask me questions. That's why I titled this one a Q&A, just to see if that made any difference in the engagement of while I'm giving you the information. But I'm one who keeps my promises, and I promised that we would come back and we would finish up the last lesson that I was teaching on how to use body language to master the first impression. And this is so important in business. When you're meeting clients for the first time, if you're networking with people, whenever you're meeting someone, even if you are looking for a job and you're on a job interview, all of these things come into play. Same thing for the first time you meet someone on a date in a personal relationship. How do you use this one? First meetings. How do you use this on first meetings? What do you look for? That's a good question. So let's look at that. When you first meet someone, I look at their posture. I want to know that they're confident. So when they approach me and they've got good posture, their shoulders are down and back, they're making eye contact when they hold out their hand to shake my hand. All of those are good body language signs. If I notice that their feet are pointed towards me and not towards the door, then I know that they're really interested in what I'm about to say, and they're really interested in connecting with me. So I'm looking at their feet. I'm looking at how they're standing. Are they crossing their legs? If they're crossing their legs, then I know that they're sort of submissive and they're probably unsure of themselves. I'm looking at their hands. When they approach me, are their hands stuck in their pockets, or are their hands out where I can see them? This lets me know that they've got nothing to hide, that they're friendly, and that they're open. First time I meet them, are they standing with their arms crossed, where they're sort of blocking their body? Or are they standing with their arms crossed, blocking their body? Like this. I'm holding my phone now, so it's kind of hard. Or do they have their hands by their side? All of that makes a difference. All of that plays a role in how we perceive people. And so for this scope, you know what? I'm going to get into why the brain is like this. If you have has anybody ever heard of the primitive brain? Have you heard that expression, primitive brain? If you have, say yes. I'm spinning around a little bit. Sorry to make you guys dizzy. I'm looking for stuff and trying to do a scope. So if you've heard of the primitive brain, say yes. Okay, so you've heard of that. Good. Yes. Okay, Pamela says yes. Okay. PM, what is your name? I'd love to call you by your name. Could you tell me your first name? And so if you've heard of primitive brain, then you may have heard of what I'm about to tell you. Peter, thank you, Peter. I'd so much rather call you Peter than PM. All right. Okay, bear with me for a sec while I fix this phone. All right, because I want to be able to show you some things. So I'm using this new little stand that I got on, I got this on Amazon because somebody was offering it as a gift in a contest. And I was like, I never win contests. I'll just go buy it myself. They're not very expensive. So I've got this stand and I'm using it for the very first time. And I'm telling you, this thing is not cool. It's not. It is really not cool. I don't know how people were using this because Yeah, it's not cool at all. But I'm going to try to make it work somehow. All right. Okay, I think there we go. Nope, we're not. All right, so here's the deal. So we're talking about, so we're talking about the primitive brain, and a couple of you have heard of what that means. But let me put it in terms that we're all going to be familiar with, even if you haven't heard of primitive brain. Imagine that you're a caveman, and your only concern is really, you probably have three concerns. The first being, don't get eaten, stay alive. Don't let some big animal come and gobble you up, right? So the first thing is to just stay alive, self-preservation. The second thing is going to be food. You need to eat, all right? And then the third thing is going to be reproduction. You want to multiply. You want to go forth and have kids and multiply. Okay. Now, that's really, if you're a caveman, that's really all you're thinking about. Now, our brains have really there's a section of the brain that's right in the center, what we call the primitive brain, that has not evolved in 3,000 years. It hasn't. It's the same. And that part of the brain is the part of the brain that receives information. So if you're a public speaker, are there any public speakers on this scope right now? If you are, say yes, or give some heart love or something. So if you're a public speaker and you're giving information, you have to speak to the primitive brain. The primitive brain is like, okay, great, Peter. So the primitive brain is like an on-off switch. It's yes or it's no. It's I like you, I don't like you. It's binary, right? It's just one thing or the other. There's no gray area and there's nothing in between. So when you're speaking to someone, whether it's your client or you're just meeting someone for the first time, you can't give them too much information. Because what will happen is the brain will start to shut down. And this is what we call boredom or ADD or whatever. The brain will start to shut down to conserve energy to do something else, like run away from a lion or, or whatever it is they have to do. So the brain will shut down to conserve energy, right? This is this is true. So when you're speaking to people, you want to talk about something that's interesting to them. And the number one thing that's interesting to others is themselves. So if you really want to master the first impression, get people to start talking about themselves. Love Tribe, yay! Thank you, Love Tribe members. Get people to start talking about themselves. Change agent, you know what I'm talking about. So if you really want to make a great first impression, do not do all the talking. So that's why it's important for me to get people to engage on these Periscopes. If I'm doing all the talking, I'm giving you all the information, indeed, then what happens is people start shutting down. And I'm noticing that today when I'm giving more information, even though people are saying it's good, their brain is taking a lot of energy because it takes a lot of energy to absorb all of this information. And then they're off to do other things and they're gone. Right? So if I can give it in small bite-sized chunks, that primitive brain is like, okay, I can get that. I can put that in action. Okay, now I can move on to something else. That is the exact same reason why TED Talks are only 18 minutes, because the brain is just not going to stay in there that longer than 18 minutes. So what I'm going to try to do from this point forward is stick to that rule and make each scope about 18 minutes. You might want to try the same thing. Anything over 18 minutes, and you actually lose your peak. So, people start to trail off. There might still be some people in there, but they're going to be either new people coming in, or these are like diehard fans that are sticking with you past 18 minutes. All right. So just keep that in mind. Put your best information up front in the first 18 minutes, because the brain is going to start shutting down and you're going to lose folks. All right. So again, with the primitive brain and body language. So before man created, hey, what's up, Carla? Before man created language, spoken language, there was just simply body language. And the first thing that someone was interested in was what I said, self-preservation, staying alive. So when a caveman came across another caveman or woman, and they saw them in the distance coming their way, they can't see their micro expressions, right? You can't see all of that. All you can see in the distance to understand, is this person friend or foe? That's the only decision you're trying to make. And the brain is still this way. We're only trying to make this decision. Is that person friend or foe? So when they're coming in the distance, all you can see is what that person is wearing. That's it. That's why what you wear is crucial in making the first impression. It's what people see far off in the distance, and it's the first thing they judge. Now, does anybody know, how do we determine, as primitive human beings, how do you determine if somebody is a friend or a foe? Does anybody know? Want to guess? How do you figure that out? This is all related to making the first impression. How do you know when someone is a friend or a foe and they're off in the distance? You can't really make out their face or their facial expressions. What's the first thing the brain is going to pick up on? Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Nobody has a guess right now. All right, so the first thing people will see is what you're wearing. That's how posture. There's a good guess. It's actually what you're wearing, because off in the distance, they can't see your posture either. They can't see your posture. They can't see your facial expressions. When you're off in the distance and you're walking towards someone, how do I know if you're a friend or foe? How do I know? That's the first thing my brain is going to think. Are you here to kill me? Now think about this in today's world, if this is true or not. What we've seen on the news so much about violence between police officers and black men, just violence anywhere. Think about that in terms of what I'm saying right now. How do I know if you're off in the distance? How do I know if you're a friend or a foe? It's from what you are wearing. If you are wearing something like someone that's in my tribe, this is why we use the term tribe, love tribe, all these tribes. That means that we are not against each other. We are helping one another. We're in a tribe. That means we're friends. And if you're not in my tribe as a caveman, then you're a foe, because that's what life was like. You're either in my tribe or you're out. If you're in my tribe, we help each other. If you're out my tribe, you're probably trying to kill me and take whatever I have. So we still think like that. Binary switch, on and off. So the first thing we're going to see is, what are you wearing? If you're wearing something like someone in my tribe would wear, I'm going to feel safe around you. Okay? So if you dress like me, so if I'm a business person and everybody in my company wears a uniform that's all matchy-matchy, we all wear orange shirts and blue pants, right? That's an indication that you're in my tribe and I can trust you. So if I see you way off in the distance, I can spot you. I can be like, oh, yep, there's one of us right there. There's one of us. And if you're not in my tribe, I might be on guard. So when you're approaching someone in a networking meeting or a client for the first time, be cognizant of what you're wearing. Are you dressing for someone? Are you dressing for yourself, the way you feel, the way you like to dress? Or are you dressing for your client? What's going to make them feel comfortable? You've got to think about how they are going to feel comfortable. That's how they're going to connect with you. So you have to look in the mirror and say, I look really good. This is something my client can respect. Okay? So then the second thing is, and how the brain functions. It's thinking, okay, on, off. Are you friend or foe? First, I determine, you look like you might be in my tribe, or at least in a tribe that I'm familiar with, right? Then the next thing we look is at the hands. This is where body language really comes into play. That's the next thing we look at. What are your hands doing? So if we're cavemen, we're trying to see, do you have a rock in your hand? Is that a spear in your hand? What's in your hand? Because I need to know, are you about to kill me, or are we going to be good for the next 10 or 15 minutes? Okay, that's it. Binary switch. So we still think like this. Are you friend? Are you foe? What's in your hands? If you're keeping your hands in your pockets, you're walking around with your hands in your pockets, no one can tell if you're a friend or foe. All we can say is, I don't know. I got to wait and see. And you don't want that kind of fear happening in someone's head before they've even met you. So the best thing to do, otherwise, I would much rather be talking about myself and you listen to me. So, do that. Have people talk. The more they talk about themselves, the more they will feel connected to you. Then the second thing is, what are you wearing? Make sure that you're dressed in a way that is acceptable. And then finally, you want to keep your hands open. So if you're a public speaker, like Peter said, he's a public speaker, the way you walk on stage is extremely important to how well. Florida storms are messing with my connection. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that, Pam. But the way you walk on stage is as important, if not more important, than what you do once you're on stage. So this is what I mean. People are going to judge you from the moment you come in through the door to the moment you open your mouth. They're going to already make the first impression of you. First impression is made in a matter of seconds. You agree? Yes. Thank you. Seconds, not minutes, seconds. So the first thing you want to do when approaching the stage is make sure that you're letting people know that you're a friend. That's all they care about. They want to know, are you a friend or a foe? So you have to give them friend cues. Friend cues in terms of body language. Hey, that's why I always do chevalier. That's why I do that, okay? Or one of the reasons. I've got many reasons. Hey, like this, open hand. I show both hands when I do it. Hey, because I want you to know I'm a friend. I'm not carrying any weapons. I'm here. Hey, right? It's just like hands up, right? Same thing. Want people to know your friends. So, hey, everybody. Hey, how are you doing? That's why we wave like this. Hey, everyone. We're cool. Not carrying a weapon. All right. All this should make sense to you already. Also, when you're walking up there, you want to make sure that you're at a nice stride. If you're walking to the stage, that you're at a nice pace. You're not running. That's scary. When people see people running, what do people do? What do people do? When you just see people running, what do you do? I know what I do. If I see people running, they run. Exactly. You don't have to know what's going on to know that if I see people running, I should be afraid and I need to run too, right? Get on alert. Yes, you turn up the little, you're like, oh my God, something is going on. So if you're a speaker and you're running up to the stage, it's like, oh boy, what's happening? Oh my God. Now, sometimes that might be what you want. Maybe you are super high energy and you're in a crowd of people that are super high energy and they totally respect that you're running to the stage. So you have to gauge your audience, because if you're in the audience of just, let's say they're all doctors or something, or very analytical people, they're going to think they're running. I must need to run too because something is happening. Right? And you don't want that. You don't want your audience to be on alert before you even say a word, at least not that kind of alert. You want their attention though. Okay. And so the next thing, once you get on stage, you want to stand in place. If you're pacing back and forth, which I often do and didn't realize that, my coach actually pointed it out to me. But if you're pacing back and forth, what you have is nervous energy. And if you're nervous, other people will view that as, oh, I need to be nervous too. It's the same principle as if you're running, then, oh, I need to be running too. Okay. So as a speaker, your body language, whatever body language you're conveying, you're actually going to make your audience feel the same way. You can use that to your advantage. You can use that to your advantage. If you want your audience to be high energy, then you have to do high energy body language. Yeah. All right. You need to be pumping it, like doing high energy moves. They'll be high energy. If you want to take them down a little bit, then you have to bring your body language down. Your hands got to fall down to your side, all the way down to your side. So it's like, hey, I can do this for you, but I can do this for you. But when I do this for you, do you see the difference? I can do this, or I can do this. My body language is taking you up with me, right? So then you feel higher and higher because my body language is telling you to do that. Feel higher and higher and higher. In business, exact same thing. When you're giving your pitch to someone, yes, I'm able to provide a starter package, but I can also give you the premium package, which does this, this, and this. But if you're really high speed, I can give you our top level package. So see how my hand's going up? I get more energy. They get more energy. Now they don't want the starter package because they're feeling like, no, that's not me. I'm not low energy. I'm high energy. I want your premium high level top executive package. So you do that when you're selling. Your body language should match what it is you want them to do. Whatever your body does, that's how they're going to feel too. Okay? Do y'all get that? Say yes. If you're getting it, say yes. If it's not making sense or it's just too crazy, say move on. Just say, move on, Keli, move on. This is ridiculous. Making sense. Okay. So I'm going to turn this around because this is what I wanted to talk about on this scope right here. So I'll turn this around. So I wanted to talk about, letting your hands do the talking. And that's what I just was describing to you. Another way is to show inclusiveness, thoughtfulness, openness, friendliness, and confidence. So I'm going to go ahead and flip back around. All right. So when you're showing inclusiveness, so when you're giving a pitch to someone, so let's say, I'm talking to a group of people and I want them to know that everybody's involved. Or if this, if you're a speaker and you're on stage, same thing. And I'm having trouble with this stand. It won't let me use two hands. I'm having some trouble with the stand. All right, so I don't know what's going up with this thing, but I don't recommend this thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just totally using it wrong. I don't know. I probably should have read the instructions. Yep, I probably just should have read the instructions. All right, so okay, so I'm going to stand up so you can see how my body is working here. All right, so I'm using my hands. So if I want to use my hands to show inclusiveness, so if I'm giving my pitch, I would say something like, so hi everyone, I want to welcome you here today. All of you, so I'm going to say all of you are going to get the best that I have to offer. So all of you are included in this. So I'm using my hands to show inclusiveness, that I want everybody. I want all of you, everyone. So I'm going to take my hands starting inward and move them outward and bring them right back into me again. That's going to show people that you're all included. It's all inclusive. If I'm talking about a package that's all inclusive, same thing. All inclusive package. It's everything right here from me. All right. If you want to talk to someone and when you want to say how passionate you are about it, take your hands, put them close to your heart. So you want to say, I am passionate about serving people like yourself. I did a mistake there. I pointed. You should not point. So I want to serve people like you, right? So now I'm one hand. I want to serve people like you. I'm passionate about doing this, right? So I'm passionate about serving people like you, okay? So when you want to say you or like an individual, don't do this. I make this mistake. I don't want you to, but do not point. Pointing is really offensive when you point at someone. Try to use an open hand because remember, we're all about are you friend or foe? So making your hand look like a gun does not say I'm a friend. It says I'm a foe, okay? So leave your hand open, palm up, means you're not hiding anything. So people like you, right, can benefit from this. So also using your hands to show confidence. Now, you'll see a lot of speakers, they do this, the little pyramid thing. That's cool. For some reason, now, I've never understood this, but this does show confidence when you're speaking. It's a great place to rest your hands when you're speaking. So I'm talking about this, that, and the other, and then my hands just come right back here versus letting them drop by my side because that's low energy. Keeping everything above the waist is high energy. So that really helps people understand that you're conveying confidence to them and that you're energetic about what you're saying. All right, so I'm going to take a seat. Try to get this thing to do what I want it to do. It's really not, though. Okay. All right. So I'm going to flip this around. So that's talking about, oh, shoots, using your hands. So let's flip this around. Okay, does anybody have any questions on that at all? Any questions about using your hands to show inclusiveness, thoughtfulness? Thoughtfulness, if you're thinking about something and you want to show that, yeah, I'm thinking about that, a good way to use your hands to say, yeah, that's interesting. Thank you. It is to just place your hand on your chin. So showing thoughtfulness, like, yeah, that's interesting. Oh, that's really cool. Or, oh, okay, let me think about that. Those are thoughtfulness. That's a way to use your hands like that. That's really interesting. Okay, cool. I'll think about that. That's how you show thoughtfulness with your hands. Okay. All right. So this has been one of my shorter scopes. Like I said, this whole scope-a-thon is really an experiment. I want to give you great information and get some good feedback. Thank you very much, Mr. David. So I want to get some feedback from you guys and ladies on this scope. Thank you. I'm going to be scoping again shortly, probably 30 or 40 minutes, and I might be trying something else new. But we're going to keep it all on the same topic. We're talking about body language in business. If you missed my other scopes from this morning, feel free to catch those replays. I would love it, love it, love it if you would share. My intention, if you feel like this is something that people need to know, please share it. And I say that because, please share it because I have an intention. I want to reach 1,000 followers by the end of this month. That sounds like a lofty goal, but that's why I didn't make it a goal. It's an intention. I intend to do that. So I intend to be scoping. I intend to provide you the information that you want. And I intend to reach that goal. So if you in any way, shape or form feel like this type of information is something people would love to hear, by all means, please share it, invite others, because like I said, my intention is to reach that goal. I'd like 1,000 viewers by 1,000 followers by the end of the month. All right. So thank you so very much. Catch me on the next scope. Replayers, thank you. You can give hearts by tapping the screen and swipe up or to the right if you would like to share. Look for me again, talking on more of this sort of thing in about 40 more minutes, because today is the Scope-a-thon. So I'll be here all day. Thanks again, and bye-bye.